recognized symbol of excellence for your entertainment.
Good evening, Ozzy.
Hello there.
Somebody threw a bat on stage, and I thought it was one of these toy bats. So I picked it up, biting things head off, and suddenly everybody's freaking out. It's a real bat. It's like...
Lippy, lippy, or pipey sinking.
I'm not done yet, you know. I'm not done yet.
Welcome to Machino Music, the show that puts some music in Machino music, with your host, me, Brett Strong. Today in Machino Music, it's Ozzy Osbourne Top 10 Songs. Let the madness begin. Good afternoon, everybody. Ozzy Osbourne Top 10 Songs, that's what we're doing here today. Big news. Ozzy Osbourne is being inducted into the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame as a solo artist. Of course, he's already in with Black Sabbath. Finally, as a solo artist, vindicated after all this time. I mean, it was doubtful. People were doubting it was going to happen if they'd ever induct Ozzy as a solo. But you know what? He's been around long enough. He's 75 years old, still going. I mean, health problems, whatever, may not have that, true final tour. He's been saying, I think he's going to do like a couple shows here and there. But really, he's done. Will probably perform at the ceremony itself, but this is pretty big. Also, this induction, this year's class, has a few other notables we should mention. A foreigner finally getting in. I mean, that's a long time coming, and a crime that they're only being inducted now. Foreigner, come on, some huge hits from Foreigner. And also Cher, everybody. Cher is being inducted into the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame. Another one, just like Ozzy Osbourne, it's been around for a long time. Like, why isn't she in? So, yeah, this is a big deal. I'm excited about this. So I thought, why not celebrate it with an Ozzy Osbourne Top 10 Songs. Did an album ranking a while back. Now I'm doing Top 10 Songs. And I should say off the top here, this was very hard for me to not put a bunch of songs from The Ultimate Sin, which is, maybe not one of Ozzy Osbourne's favorite albums. He said he's not a big fan of, but I always loved that album. It's one of the first ones that really had an impact on me, so I kind of had to, too many songs from Ultimate Sin. So there's a swap out there. I'm just going to have an honorable mention right now that I kind of swapped out at the last minute. Killer of Giants. Just want to mention that song off the top. It's a song, I always really dug it. I distinctly remember being in my grade 11 drama class and having Killer of Giants stuck in my head. Remember, right in the middle of an exercise with like some girl, I barely remember anything about her, but anyway, there's a girl saying to her husband, I have Killer of Giants talking about it. She doesn't know what I'm saying. She probably has like Mary J. Blige or whatever stuck in her head. I got Ozzy Osbourne, Killer of Giants, and yeah. Mary J. Blige also going to this year's class of the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame. That's a topic for another day. So let's get right into this top 10. I want to put a recent song, and I decided to go from the Scream album, Let It Die. This song, when I first, it kicks off the album. The later period Ozzy albums, usually amongst fans, are not great, and I kind of agree with that. But there are some great moments, some great tunes, and Let It Die is one of those ones. Oh man, the way that hits that opening riff, it's like Godzilla stepping down. It is just like so huge and so massive. I was in my local record store once and I heard that tune. I was like, whoa, this is like so cool that they're playing this, and I get to hear this just as I'm going through the record racks. So cool. Dig it. So Let It Die from Scream. Alright, coming in number 9. These are in no particular order, by the way, I should mention that. But number 9, from Bark at the Moon, Center of Eternity. A song about just like time just kind of slipping away. About a black hole, essentially. Like just falling into an eternity. Like it's just a black hole. Just it's one of those classic Ozzy sort of questioning kind of songs. Like what's it all mean type of tune. He had a lot of those. And this one was so cool because it has this big intro, kind of similar to Mr. Crowley, maybe that's a little foreshadowing right there, has this big intro, big organ intro, has a big whole choir, and then it just kicks in super heavy. You're getting sucked into this black hole. You're getting sucked into the center of eternity. That's what it feels like when the big riff kicks in. So good. And Jake E. Lee's guitar playing. I mean, this is the first record with Jake E. Lee, Bark at the Moon. And he makes such a statement on this album. And he had a very different style of playing than Randy Rhoads. We'll, of course, get into more about Randy Rhoads. But Jake E. Lee's very underrated. I mean, you don't hear a lot about Jake E. Lee. Fantastic guitar player. And now I was foreshadowing because I'm coming in number 8 from Blizzard of Oz, Mr. Crowley. Of course, about Aleister Crowley. Huge song. Big, huge song. I mean, this was one of those ones, like, when you first see, again, the huge intro, the big, like, synthesizer intro played by Don Airey. Really cool. Really different. And then it just kicks in really heavy. And that vocal from Ozzy. And the lyrics are, like, so dark, but so cool. And the guitar solos on this, especially that first big guitar solo by Randy Rhoads. That was a big spit I just did right there. Man, when I first heard that, I was like, this is insane. I mean, Randy Rhoads was so special. And he proves it on this album. This was a big intro of Randy Rhoads to everybody. And we were all like, everyone was blown away by this guy. I mean, like, post Eddie Van Halen, you know, this guy was set a new bar. You know, and really, I've said it before, I think Randy Rhoads was almost too good for this style of music. Like, had he lived and not died in that very tragic plane crash, who knows what we would have heard from Randy Rhoads? Because I don't think he would have stayed doing heavy metal as much as us as fans of his would have wanted him to. I think he would have done other stuff. It is kind of like really cool to think about, like, maybe what would he have done had he lived. I mean, there's that little guitar interlude on Blizzard of Oz, that song D, which is a classical guitar, because he had a classical guitar training. That was really cool to think about. But yeah, Mr. Crowley just shows off his guitar playing. There's 2 big guitar solos on it. So good, love it, dig it, had to be on this list. All right, coming in number 7. From No Rest for the Wicked. Again, another album was kind of difficult. I could have put a bunch of songs from this album because this one was another huge, just had a huge impact on me as far as Ozzy solo records. But from No Rest for the Wicked, Fire in the Sky. Song about a person who's just going insane, basically. Pretty much what this guy just, like, going insane. And I don't know, for some reason, I have always sort of identified with the line, I can't believe it, now my castles are burning. For some reason, that sticks with me. I think because sometimes you plan something, and you want it to go well, and, you know, all the pieces you think are in place, and then it all goes to hell, all goes to crap, and then you're like, I can't believe it, now my castles are burning. So I think of that line anytime, you know, like a project I'm working on, trying to get going, just all goes to crap. So I think part of me identifies with a song of somebody slowly going insane. So yeah, Fire in the Sky, always dug that tune. All right, number 6 from Diary of a Madman. Some would say the best Ozzy solo album. I can't disagree with that. I mean, here it is right here, fantastic record. But from this album, for me, it was always Believer. Such a good song, so good with that bass intro. It's like so big, and then Randy Rhoads comes in with that really cool riff, just a mean riff. And, you know, Ozzy with some pretty positive lyrics. I mean, I think this is a pretty upbeat, you know, as far as it's kind of like a minor key kind of tune. I think it has sort of positive lyrics. I mean, believe in yourself. I think it has a bit of that in there, but either way, musically, So good. Okay, coming in number 5, going back to No Rest for the Wicked, I had to have Miracle Man. When I first heard the No Rest for the Wicked album, this of course kicks off the album. It's that first song you hear, and it's just that riff. Whoa! What an intro to this. I remember I had a guitar teacher who said, the Ozzy album you gotta hear is No Rest for the Wicked. I was like, okay, I gotta hear that. So I went right out and I bought No Rest for the Wicked. And this is the song that came on. What I love about it too is it has that, I thought for years it was like a vocoder, like one of those things like, you know, like kind of like what people call auto-tune now, but it's actually just a vocoder, but it's actually just like a voice box, like Peter Frampton kind of, you know, the Richie Sambora living on a prayer, bow, 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 the kind of thing. That's what it was. But it's just Zakk Wylde singing to this thing, Miracle Man. It sounds so cool. It's this really cool robot voice. Always dug that. Now, the song itself is kind of dated. Because it's about Jimmy Swaggart. I don't think anybody really even cares about Jimmy Swaggart. Mentioned him a few times on this program before, and I talked about Ozzy Osbourne, talked about Stryper, because he was their mentor. But so it's a little bit dated, sort of content-wise. But, I mean, I guess sort of the idea of the, you know, evangelist, shamed evangelist. I mean, that's kind of still a thing. Evangelists kind of are, I mean, not to the extent that they were in that time in the 80s. But there's still those people who, you know, put themselves up on a pedestal like, I know everything. I'm like, you know, I'm the moral compass of the world. And then they get caught like with their pants down, caught with a prostitute like Jimmy Swaggart. You know, it could still happen to any one of these bozos out there today. So I guess that part holds up. But I just love the playing on this song and just the funness of just Ozzy. You just know he's reveling in this because this was like a huge deal for like, because these evangelists were going after all the heavy metal bands and heavy metal artists, and now here's this thing, it just all comes crashing down on this guy, and it's like, and Ozzy was one like, I'm gonna have fun with this. So you can see that sense of fun on this tune. It's so good, and I hope it has a big laugh at the beginning, and has a music video where it's like a church, but it's like a giant pig pen, there's pigs running all around. Crazy, so much fun, dig it. Alright, coming in number 4, from The Ultimate Sin, Shot in the Dark. Oh, just dig Shot in the Dark. So good. Because it was kind of a hit and had that weird video with the girl with the eyes and she's going to a concert with her friends and then there's like... And then I think this one has like a Godzilla Ozzy Osbourne. It might have been Lightning Strikes Again. But it was sort of the same idea, just Ozzy sort of appearing at different points, and then the girl's at the concert, and she, you know, her eyes light up, and so it's a weird video. But yeah, really cool. Always dug that tune. Love the riff on it. Love the playing. Love the lyrics. So cool. Yeah, dig it. All right, coming in number 3 from the Osmosis album, Perry Mason. Huge, heavy song. Another one that maybe seems maybe a little dated. I mean, it's kind of dated at the time because Perry Mason wasn't on TV. I don't think people even know who the hell's Perry Mason. Well, he was a TV lawyer, a TV attorney, and he had a courtroom show. I was never a big Perry Mason fan. I mean, don't even get me started on Raymond Burr and Ironside. You know, but yeah, it was a popular courtroom drama. And so he kind of became the thing, like, oh, this is like a defense attorney. This guy, Perry Mason, we got to get this guy. This case is not going to be solved until we get Perry Mason the hell in here. And that's what this song's about. Who can we get on the case? We need Perry Mason. And it's just the way this hits. I mean, this is a heavy song. And it's the real big sort of intro of, well, at least of this, really the sound that became more and more by each album he did with Ozzy, synonymous with Zakk Wylde, those huge pinch harmonics. Got a lot of them on this tune, and a lot on the Osmosis album. But yeah, I think it really is a song that just sort of like really solidifies and really just sort of, yeah, this is Zakk Wylde's thing, this style of playing. And it's super heavy. I always dug the tune Perry Mason. Osmosis is a very kind of weird, all over the place album. It's very, very uneven, but got some big, huge, solid, heavy tunes. And of course, this one is one of them. So it had to be on my list. I just love Perry Mason from the moment I heard it. All right, we're in the top 2, everybody. And I had to go from Blizzard of Oz. Another album was hard. I could put the whole album on here, and that would have made it too easy. But from Blizzard of Oz, I Don't Know. This was like the first Ozzy Osbourne song that I really heard that where I was just like, whoa. My Uncle John, who I've mentioned on this program before, got me into he gave me an Ozzy Osbourne tape that had Blizzard of Oz and Diary of a Madman. Side A, back when tapes were side A and side B. Side A had Blizzard of Oz. And then I hear the intro to I Don't Know. And it's just like, whoa, this is awesome. Kind of has that kind of warpy kind of sound effect, and that huge riff hits. Whoa! And then it's one of those classic sort of Ozzy Osbourne, like, questioning songs. What does it all mean? It's kind of like, don't come to me for all the answers. I don't know. Oh, so awesome. Huge song. Love I Don't Know. But what is my number 1? I had to put the title track from The Ultimate Sin, The Ultimate Sin. When I first heard this song, I just love it. It just, sort of like the feeling I got when I first heard I Don't Know. The Ultimate Sin was kind of, because it had that big, huge drum intro. Randy Castillo, one of my all-time favorite drummers. And then that big riff from Jakey Lee. It's like, whoa, it's just such a heavy, mean riff. And I really love the video. The video was really funny. Ozzy's kind of like this, I guess like a Texas oil man, kind of like oil tycoon. He's wearing a cowboy hat. And then there's that part where he's in a board meeting. He takes his cowboy boot off and just stinks everybody out of the office with his stinky polka dot socks. Then you have the part where he throws the TV into the swimming pool. So great, so good. Then he pushes the girl in the swimming pool. It's the same girl from the Shot in the Dark video. Oh, man. Just love The Ultimate Sin. Again, it's not a favorite of Ozzy himself, but we all hear these things differently. We all respond to this stuff differently. And that song has always hit me. Again, these are in no particular order, but I mean, if you put a gun to my head and said, what's your favorite Ozzy Osbourne song? I would say it's The Ultimate Sin. I just love the song so much. Love just everything about it. So there you go. Those are my 10 favorite Ozzy Osbourne songs. If you didn't hear your favorite song, that's perfectly okay. That's cool. We all have different songs that we like. But these are my 10 favorites. Ozzy Osbourne going into the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame. Big deal. So we got to do a little bit of a celebration for this. Vindication for Mr. Ozzy Osbourne. He's now a 2-time Rock and Roll Hall of Famer. Black Sabbath, now as a solo. So great. It's finally happening. So if you're an Ozzy Osbourne fan, I hope you enjoyed this. That's it for this week. Until we meet again, this is Brett Strong saying good journey.